How you doing today, Jack?
Good. How are you?
Can't complain. We're going to talk about Packard today. I mean, that's a good day for me.
We're talking about a 1934 Packard 12-cylinder Victoria.
Correct.
The 12 wasn't on my radar.
Sure.
So in a lot of cases, these things happen because they're meant to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the body style, the
Sure.
Victoria body style. It's so elegant, and I'll tell a quick story about this car, but I was having a conversation with your dad when they started ripping this car apart to restore it.
Yep.
And your dad called me and said, did you know this car's a Dietrich interior? I said, I didn't know that, and I'm sure the guy who sold it to me didn't know it.
Sure.
And I said, how do you know that? And he said, well, there's a plate in the car that recognizes it as a Dietrich custom interior. And I said, well, you've probably been in business, I don't know, 45 years at that point. How many of these have you ever seen? And your dad kind of paused and he said, this is the first one I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And I said, wow. I said that fortuitous that I ended up with this car because I originally looked at an 8 or Super 8, and then we came upon the 12, and then it was an extra benefit that I had a Dietrich custom interior.
Dietrich was a standalone coach builder up until, basically 33, 34 era. And at this point in time, they had basically set up shop right across the road from Packard. And what we've discussed internally with that car is normally the seats would have hinged at the back for a standard 12 Victoria in that era, or for 34. And this, as you know, it hinges at the front of the seat, which is very unique to see. But what we can gather is that it was either somebody that was larger in stature, taller or wider, or the family or something like that wanted easier access to the back seat on that, because it makes a tremendous difference being able to shift that whole seat forward at the tilt like that to get into the back. But yeah, when we pulled the
Otherwise,
car,
it's difficult to get in the back because there's only 2 doors in the car.
Exactly. They're long doors, but yeah, it was really unique to see that kind of styling in those seats. But to your point, what Dad pointed out is there was a little body tag on there that said, Dietrich Custom Interior, the date and things like that to kind of commemorate that was done that way. And to your point, seeing that out in the wild when you look at a standard interior, it really is very divergent from what you would see, which is a joint at the back of the seat instead of that front fold. So it's really unique to see that on these cars. And again, it's a 34 Packard 12 Victoria. They built, 15 or so originally, I think somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe there's 10 left now, but they all still
It's a high survival rate.
It is. But again, it was a 12. It was a special car, and they have always been regarded as a special car, which, since they've always been regarded that way, they have a higher chance of survival. So they were regarded as the pinnacle of Packard design. It was really, you have the design language change in 35, again, that went from Great Gatsby to Dick Tracy, as I always talk about. This Victoria in particular in 34, they made some design changes to it that are distinct for the year. In particular, the way that they integrated the shape of the trunk into the back of the body. If you look at a 33, it's still square. And just that small change, that integration of that trunk into the back of the body, makes the car look so much more streamlined and yet still in that classic era design. That, coupled with the unique interior through Dietrich and the fact that Dietrich did design that coachwork, it was a factory designed car like that, but it was through Dietrich, that makes for arguably, I think, as far as a standard body Packard is concerned, it's probably one of the most beautiful standard body Packards ever.
Do you want to touch on the hood ornament?
The Lalique.
The Lalique.
Yes. So that
does light up.
It does, and that was the way that when Laliques came out, I think.
And we're talking crystal.
Yes. So Rene Lalique started making crystal. It was jewelry and things like that. But I think in 26 or 7, the first hood ornament really was done through Lalique, and that became a popular accessory amongst the wealthy individuals that owned these cars originally. So you became quite a collector of Laliques through the process. As I'm looking in the background here, there are just a few hanging around. But yes, the Eagle's head, I can't remember what the French term is for that particular version of it, but that was something that you wanted to have installed on the car, and it fits very well with it. But when those were originally offered, they ran a wire through the side of the fill neck for the radiator so they would light up at night. So yeah, I mean, just the whole presentation of that car is incredible. The black paint, the copper pinstripe, the way that it marries with the interior. That's a special car to me because it was the first Packard that I really got to see go through the full process and be a part of.
And that you call copper interior
Yes.
really accentuates the black body.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Really
That's-
stunning.
Yeah, well, that's such a huge part of the process with this, right? Because we sit down and we say, all right, here are samples. We always do a design study with you, right? And you were just like, yeah, this is it. It's a testament to how well the car is received, and it's, sitting right behind me now, it still looks brand new, and it's such a stunning design on that car. But I'm curious, as I always ask, why with that car? I know it was.
I love the
rare.
body style.
Sure.
Just the top on that car is just, it's classic.
What really I think makes that with the Victoria is the blind quarter, right? It's the fact that there's
A back seat.
Yeah, there's a back seat with no privacy. There's privacy into the back seat on it.
Back seat really can't see out the side.
No.
I mean, you're focused out the
Yep.
front of the car.
Well, that's the whole idea with it being called a blind quarter, right? That quarter window there has been removed, and so it makes it a very private four-person car. I think that the Victoria, as far as open cars is concerned, it's the Victoria and the Phaeton are the two most beautiful styles out of the classic era. And this year is the 125th anniversary of
For Packards.
Yeah, you have, I guess, what does that mean to you, considering you have started to amass one of the more sizable Packard, particularly 12-cylinder Packard collections in the country?
And Dietrich Customs.
Yeah, what does Packard mean to you?
Packard is just a high-quality luxury car. I don't mean to pick on any other American brand, but it really wasn't a daily driver of somebody that was working in an office. I mean,
Sure.
If you look at the time span and what people made, I mean, back in 32, 33, 34, average household income was $250, and a Cadillac sold for about $1,800, and a Packard would have sold anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. I mean, your attorney and your CPA couldn't own a Packard. It was Hollywood money.
Sure. Again, that all speaks to the fact that these cars have been, for the most part, very well maintained and well lived. Is that they were in the hands of
well-to-do, yeah.
well-heeled, that could take care of the cars.
But these cars are 90 years old.
I know, which is incredible. You've taken out the Victoria. I think you've probably put the most miles on the Victoria, if I'm guessing.
I have.
You get a very fun thing here because you have such a wide range of Packards from 1914, I think is your 1913 is your earliest up until you've got that 48. Yeah. So you really get to see a wide range of Packard's design language, and therein what the design language of the U.S. was during that period of time.
And that's the evolution of the car.
Absolutely. Well, you've got 1903 as your earliest car here, I think.
It is, Clement.
So you see through your collection a tremendous range of the evolution of the car. But even within that 3-year period of Packard's reintroduction of the 12 via the Twin 6 and 32, the 3312, the 3412, just those 3 years you see a tremendous swing in styling that goes on. The skirted fenders, the lower fenders, it's all the things that kind of lead up into this more aerodynamic design that you start to see with your 36, your 38. It's really interesting when I walk through here and I see all that. You really get to see the uniqueness of each year's presentation.
We had the opportunity, we took 6 Packards to Hampton Court in the UK, and the 6 cars collectively, we were recognized as Collector of the Year.
Yes.
And that particular car received the award for the Chairman's Award.
Yes.
And you and Prince Michael drove that through the arched gate and had literally inches on each side of the stone wall, bringing it through for the recognition.
Let me tell you how fun that was, because Little did I know that we were going to open the gates up and there'd be, I don't know, 500-600 people there watching me try to finagle this car through the world's smallest gate with inches to spare.
Well, they didn't have cars back when that gate was.
Well, so I'm sitting here in a tuxedo trying to get this, shoehorn this car through this gate, all while Prince Michael, the organizers, you, Laura, and the entire crowd are sitting there like, what's this American gonna do here? And Lord willing, with some grease and some hope and prayers, we got it through there. But yeah, what a time with that car.
And a special award.
Yeah, well, that car has, has won Best in Class or a special award at every show it's gone to. Best in Class Pebble Beach, Best in Class at the inaugural Edison Concours out in Orange, New Jersey. Amelia Island, it took Best in Class. It took Best in Class at Greenwich. It did win what was effectively the American Best in Show award at Greenwich when they used to do European and American. It's done very well.
And I think that was, out of the 6 Packards we had there, I think that was Prince Michael's favorite also.
Yes, it was. But it was so cool. I mean, what an experience with that car, right? For you to say, I have a car that a member of the royal family was driving around and loved it, and to fulfill the first time for him to drive a Packard, which it was, and also to have it on the grounds of Hampton Court. It just, what an experience.
And then I can still remember when he presented me with the Crystal Trophy for that car.
Well, then you saw him at the RAC this last year. It's just fun to, the people you bump into, Jack, I'll tell you, you're a magnet for that kind of stuff. No, that's what's so interesting about these cars, the 34 Victoria in particular, because, again, decisions were made to modify that interior for a particular purpose, right? These cars were all utility items. And so it's really neat when you sit back and look at whose lives were involved in these cars and where does that car extend out to? I mean, you have a member of the royal family that had a memory of a Packard from his youth, and now you have Packards and you're able to kind of complete that cycle for him, which is incredible.
And I'm sure he's told that story to multiple people that he drove that car.
Sure. Well, it's really neat to deal with Packards, especially, with this year being the 125th anniversary of the marque. It's really special to know that behind me sit a selection of cars that have been Levine Restoration cars that are now in your stewardship and care and will be forever.